Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show. Well, certainly this pandemic has been a challenge for any leader anywhere in the country. Whether you have a small company or a large company, you have been challenged. To talk about some of those leadership issues that we're all facing, best-selling author and speaker, Bella Cruz. She's the author of this great book. It's called Accountability Performance, and it's about to come out.
Yes,
welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jeff. It's so great to be here. Thanks for having me. My neighbor in Dallas.
Yes. Now, you're from San Antonio, so
Yes.
thank you for taking the trip up to come see us. The reason we invited you on the show is let's talk about the pandemic first, because if you're a leader of a company, a CEO, and everything's cruising along, suddenly you get a pandemic. What have you been telling your clients?
Well, I think right now is a time of rebuilding. Everybody's rethinking everything that they're doing. And one of the things that I'm encouraging the leaders to do is, now that you're rethinking, looking at your business models, because I know that many are going to make changes. So many employees are working from home right now, and so that's definitely going to make an impact. They're probably deciding, do we really need all this space?
Yes.
But I'm also asking them, you know what, right now is also a great time for you to reevaluate your leadership style.
Yes.
Reevaluate your leadership style. That's something that we don't do all the time, right? So that's one of the things that I'm asking them to do is what type of boss are you? What type of boss are you? And I say that because I've witnessed these 2 next scenarios I'm going to tell you about.
Mm-hmm.
I had, I was in a meeting with some HR executives, and outside in the hallway was this employee that was screaming, and she was saying, please fire me. Please fire me. I hate my boss. It's torture coming to work.
Wow.
Yeah, can you imagine that?
Horrible.
It's a powerful statement. And then I'm walking through another company, and I see this huddle in the hallway, and so I love to watch these interactions with employees and the leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And so I stop and I'm watching. I asked the leader, can I watch? And she said, yeah. So it started flowing, and everybody was engaged, everybody was connecting, it was flowing like a river, and the leader happened to be retiring. And all of a sudden, one of the employees says that he'd take a bullet for her.
Wow.
Now, that's an expression, but it's a very powerful expression, isn't it?
Yes.
So both are very powerful expressions. So what I'm talking about in the book are those 2 leadership styles. So what type of boss are you? Are you the one that is, the employee's running an HR saying, please fire me because it's torture coming to work? Or is somebody telling you, hey, you're a great boss, I'm going to take a bullet for you? I mean, it's an expression, but they're both powerful statements.
Well, how often do you run across a leader who they didn't sign up to be the leader? They were the idea person. They weren't the leader, and so now they find themselves in a position that they hate because they weren't born to manage people. What do you say to that guy?
Well, there's a lot of people like that, and it usually starts out in the beginning, or the mid-level of leadership, because they're really great at what they did. They're great with project management. They're on time with all their projects, and they get promoted. And sometimes they may be a good leader, but some of the leaders that are going to promote these new employees, they're not trained. They didn't train them, they didn't groom them, and they put them right into the position. And at first they're still doing their operations as usual. They're great at project management, but they're not connecting with their people.
Yes.
So I highly recommend that they train them, they coach them. And then there may be some that it's just not for them, but that's okay, because everybody has their wonderful and amazing talents. So the leader just needs to tap into those talents to see what those talents are, because that's where employees are the most happy. They're happy when the leader's tapping into their
Yes.
highest potential.
Well, so I know that I'm a baby boomer, and my generation was used to the "because I said so," right? If the boss laid down the law, it was because I said so. But the Gen Zs and the millennials, they don't like that too much.
No, they don't. Actually, they're all about connecting. And most of us are, the human spirit, that's what we're all about, is connecting. And, you can have the greatest project management skills, but if the leader is not connecting with their employees, they're not engaging them.
Yes.
They're not engaging them.
What kind of clients do you like to coach?
Well, actually, with what I do, and this new book on accountability fits any industry. And you could be in construction, technology, retail, you could be in corporate, healthcare, the military. It doesn't matter. If you're working with employees, then the book is for you.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk about accountability and people working from home, because I think for some people who are self-starters, that's not a problem. Are you running into executives who are saying, I'm worried about my employee, they keep calling by the pool? Do you run into that?
I've actually been on Zoom meetings already where, they're having a meeting with a leader, right? And the employees are turning off the video. And how do you know they're even in the room, you know?
Right.
So I know that accountability is an issue now. The same thing, even though you're in virtual, working remotely, or you're working in person, people still need to be engaged. So the accountability factor, they're all, I know that that's going to come up, because now what do? They have to create new, even at the beginning of a meeting, they have to create, I like to call them courtesies, rules of engagement, because people are there with the screen all the way up. You can only see the top of their hat, or they're turning off the videos, or you're hearing the restroom go off, just all kinds of things like that. So they're having to rethink that. But, even though they're working from home, the leaders can still track their productivity.
Yes.
And they can still try to engage them. But if the leader is not actually engaging them, finding out, asking them what their recommendations are, involving them, getting their ideas, because they're the ones that work with the front line. They're the gateways.
Yes.
And so many leaders don't actually ask them about those questions, like, how's it going today, Jeff? How what's going great? One of the 3 questions in the book that I talk about is to ask your employees consistently every week, what are you doing? What went great this week? What didn't go so well?
Yes.
Now that is a profound question, because sometimes people they don't want to talk about something that didn't go well, because for fear of retribution, right?
Yes.
But when you have a leader that's open to that, and they teach their employees that when you fail, it's an opportunity just to change direction. It's your GPS just telling you, what, we're just not flowing in the right way, let's change direction.
Yes.
And you have that kind of mindset, then the employees are going to be honest with you. And that's when you're really going to start moving the needle for your organization to grow and to become more productive.
I love that. You have been a great guest. Promise me you'll come back.
I am. I will. And I'll come back when it gets published.
The book, again, Accountability Performance. Bella Cruz is the author. You can go to check her out. BellaCruz.org is her website. And Bella Cruz, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for having me today.
You bet. And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.
Wow.